we speak about our products and how to build our business. It is always a great pleasure to spend this time sharing with you some of the information that we've gathered over the years about products as well as the business. And today I wanted to speak about gut health, so the health of our digestive system. And as you know, we are always interested in how we can use our lifestyle to ensure we maintain our health, because our target market for our products is the lifestyle related illnesses. And we know that these lifestyle related illnesses have to do with the choices we make in the way we live our lives. So our products help us in cementing and augmenting the efforts that we make in making good lifestyle choices. And so today, speaking about the gut, I wanted to just start by saying that our digestive system has a very important role to play in our overall bodily health. And it isn't only for digesting food, as we'll see in a moment. It has several other functions. And in fact, it is now being called the second brain because it contains very many nerves as well as direct links to the brain. And that is why when we usually say, I have a gut feeling, it actually is not far-fetched, because quite a bit of our nervous system is located in our gut. And our gut has got a direct link to our brain and is actually able to influence our mental activities and mental clarity and a few other things that we are going to see. So, in short, the digestive system is a tube that starts in our mouth and ends in our anus. And this tube, I will loosely divide it into three sections. The first section is from the mouth to the stomach. The second section is the small intestines. And the third section is the large intestine, or the colon, which opens out in the anus. So the most important part that we are going to be speaking about more is the colon. That is the third part, the large intestine. And this is because it is a very important part of our digestive tract, because that is where our friendly bacteria mainly live. And these friendly bacteria play a very important role in maintaining several things that I will mention soon. So we will speak mainly about the relationship with these microorganisms which live in our colon or large intestine. So before, it was thought that the large intestine was just the finishing part where the waste was sorted out before being removed from the body. But more and more research showed that actually the large intestine or the colon has got a very important function in our gut and bodily health. So what are the functions of our gut? So of course, we know the one that is the most obvious, and over the school years, I'm sure we have been told this, that the function of our digestive system is to take in the food that we eat, to break it down and to digest it so that it is fine enough for us to absorb. But apart from that, we know that it also has to produce the correct enzymes, which act as chemicals that speed up the digestive process. It produces various other digestive fluids. For example, in the stomach, it produces a high amount of hydrochloric acid, which makes the stomach very acidic. And the purpose of that high acidity of between 1 and 2 pH is to kill any germs that could get into our system through our mouth. That is why our stomach is so acid that actually it can burn itself if the body did not have a system of protecting the lining of the stomach from the acidity. So another thing is that it is able to respond to the food that we take. So we take the food, but our digestive system responds to it in certain ways. And it also responds to hormones that the body produces for various purposes. So that is the second function, the production of enzymes, digestive fluids, as well as hormones, and reacting to hormones also that come to it from the blood circulatory system. The third function of our gut is that it propagates and supports that large population of friendly bacteria, which are very important in assisting digestion, supporting our immunity, as well as supporting our mental health. The fourth function is that 70% of the body's immune cells that fight off bad bacteria and viruses as well as fungi live in the gut. So the gut, especially the colon, is where 70% of our immune cells, the cells that protect us from harmful microbes, actually are found in our colon. And the last function, of course, there are many, but I was only going to mention these five, is that our digestive system communicates with the brain through the nervous system as well as hormones. And in this way, it is able to influence our mood, it is able to react to stress, it is able to influence our mental clarity, and also it is able to provide the brain with the energy it requires to function well. So as you can see, the digestive system or the gut, it has got many more functions than one would at first think. And those functions are crucial for our day-to-day activities, as well as for our long-term health. So what are some of the signs that we can have that will tell us that the gut is suffering or that its health is being compromised? So I'm going to mention a number of them. And since it is important for us to protect ourselves, because I think maybe many languages have got a saying about prevention being better than cure. So in my own mother tongue, the Luo language, we have the saying, I think many of you know it, Chako chon ber moloyo juoga. Starting early is better than waiting to go to the witch doctor. So for this reason, just remember that it is important for us to know some of these signs so that we start taking the necessary measures and protecting ourselves and preventing before we get in trouble. Because by the time we get in trouble, it is much harder to turn things around. Therefore, it's more important for us to actually be preemptive before the problems become big. So some of the signs are, there's certain stresses, for example, constipation is one, diarrhea, as well as chronic bloating. So constipation is difficulty in passing stool, finding that going to the toilet for a long call takes a lot of effort and sometimes produces nothing or produces very little in spite of a lot of pushing, and that is a warning, and we call it constipation. And different people go for long calls different numbers of times per day, but definitely at least once per day is important. And if we find that it is less than that, since we eat every day, then it means, of course, that we have a certain amount of refuse to pass out every day. So if we are not passing out anything for 2-3 days, then it is a warning bell that we might be constipated. The other side of it is diarrhea, where we pass a lot of watery stool. And this is another warning that the system is not functioning properly. That is why maybe food is being passed out of the body before it is properly digested and water is reabsorbed from it. Then the third one that I mentioned is bloating, where there's a feeling of swelling in the belly or distension in the belly as if it is full of gas. And this can mean that our digestion is not occurring properly, and some of the foods are producing a lot of gas, which is causing us this discomfort of bloating. Certain foods cause a certain amount of bloating in different people. So this is why I said chronic bloating. It can happen sometimes that we feel bloated, maybe after overeating a bit, or that certain kinds of food make us be bloated. So for example, for some people, it might be beans. For some people, it might be other things. But if it is chronic and with every kind of food, then it is a warning that your gut is in distress. Then another sign of problems with gut health are conditions like hemorrhoids, ulcers, colitis, and GERD, G-E-R-D. So hemorrhoids is what happens when constipation goes on for a prolonged period. Then a part of the gut pushes out of the anus, and does not push back in. So if we keep on being constipated and not doing anything about it, then we can end up with hemorrhoids, which is quite painful. So that is why I'm suggesting that we should preempt and look for the initial signs and rectify them before we get into the trouble of having hemorrhoids, where we will maybe need to go to hospital and have some operation to rectify the situation. Then we can also have ulcers, where the lining of the gut, different parts of the gut, it can be in the stomach or it can be in the intestine. Different parts of the gut can get wounds that do not heal. And this is when we say we have ulcers. And this can be quite dangerous because they can bleed and can actually be life-threatening. Then we have others like colitis, is when the colon is inflamed. And then GERD is when the acid in our stomach rides up into our throat and we get a burning feeling, and this is chronic. So those are some of the conditions that might warn you that all is not well in the gut. Then the third group of signs is having some autoimmune diseases. So for example, something like psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis has also been linked to gut problems, and so on. So whenever your doctor says that you have an autoimmune illness, one of the places where you can look is problems with the gut. Then the fourth is inflammatory skin problems. So if someone suffers from eczema or a lot of skin irritations and pimples, the problem could also be originating not from the skin, but from the gut. Because if you think about it, our gut is our skin turned inside out. So our skin continues through our mouth into our gut. So if something is irritating our gut, it can show on our skin. For example, the skin of our face or other parts of our body. Then another sign that our gut health has been compromised is a craving for sugary foods. So if you have a craving for sugary foods, it could be a sign that the friendly bacteria in our guts have been reduced and the bad bacteria are increasing. And when the bad bacteria thrive on sugar, so when they are more than the good bacteria, they put us into a state of craving sugary foods because that is what they like. Because remember, I say that these friendly bacteria and the unfriendly ones in our gut influence us a lot. They even influence our mind. So in your mind, you may say, I need some tea with a lot of sugar, or I need a soda. It is not sometimes not really you who is saying that. It's the bad bacteria in your stomach that are influencing you to give them sugar because that is what they like. The friendly bacteria don't like sugar. They like natural, minimally processed food. So if someone has a constant craving for sugary foods, then it could be a warning that the balance of the gut bacteria is favoring the bad ones and not favoring the good ones. Then another sign is intolerance for a wide variety of food. So you may have a diarrhea if you eat different types of food. So almost everything upsetting the digestive system. So you eat this, you have problems. You eat this, you get bloating. You eat something else, you get diarrhea. You eat something else, you get constipated. So if there are always problems with a wide range of foods, then that could mean that your gut is not working properly and not able to deal with foods which normally, through our evolution, we should be able to deal with. Then another sign is frequent bouts of anxiety and depression. Of course, as I said, this may not necessarily be coming from your gut, but that is one of the places where the problem could be originating from. So one of the sources for anxiety and depression could be what is happening in your gut. And we know that if you're stressed, sometimes you may find that it ends up with a person getting ulcers or getting different types of stomach upsets because of that connection between our brains and our gut. Then another warning sign that our gut is not doing well is bad breath in spite of having good dental hygiene. Of course, if we are careless with our dental hygiene, we don't brush our teeth regularly, and maybe go to sleep with having not brushed our teeth, then it can lead to bad breath. But another, if one is brushing their teeth regularly and taking care of their dental oral hygiene, let me say oral hygiene, then it can be that the balance of bacteria in the gut is compromised, or that the acidity of the stomach has got problems, so that the acid is getting where it should not get. Then the final one I wanted to share is another warning sign of poor gut health is chronic fatigue and sleeping problems. And this becomes a cycle. We need to, if we have sleeping problems, it could lead us to be chronically fatigued, because then if we can't sleep at night, then during the day we are tired, we start dozing, then that dozing interrupts our sleep at night, and the thing becomes a chronic cycle. And this could also originate with problems in the gut, because sometimes maybe we eat a meal and it's not well digested and we are tossing and turning the whole night. And then it upsets our sleeping and waking rhythm. So how can we improve our gut health? So I'll mention a few points. We should eat a wide variety of natural foods. When I say natural foods, I mean that they are minimally processed. We should increase the amount of fiber in our diet, especially soluble fiber, that, like those you find in fruits and vegetables. And this is because this kind of food feeds the friendly bacteria in our colon and improves our gut health, because those friendly bacteria control the bad bacteria that can upset our system. We should also, another thing to do in improving our gut health is to eliminate sugar as much as possible from our diet. We should keep it at a minimum. If we already have gut problems, then it is best to eliminate sugar altogether. And if we want to prevent problems, then we should keep it at a minimum. Remember, I said between 6 and 8 teaspoons total per day. And then another thing we should keep at a minimum is junk food, and to use healthy fats instead of unhealthy fats. I think we mentioned this last week for those who are with us when we were speaking about healthy eating. Then we should also prioritize adequate rest and sleep. We shall have a topic about rest and sleep sometime in the future. And then also do our best to resolve stress in our lives, because stress can cause us a lot of health problems, including gut problems. And the final one is to eliminate artificial sweeteners, because they are hard to digest and they also upset the balance of our friendly gut bacteria. So those are some of the things we can do to improve our gut health. But in addition to that, to supplement what we are doing in our lifestyle to improve our gut health, another thing we can add is from Neolife, we can add fiber tablets, which boosts good healthy fiber in our diet. We can also, I know that in the East African market, we still don't have acidophilus. I was thinking that if anyone on the call today has got connections with someone big up there who can help us to get the acidophilus into the Kenyan, Uganda, or Tanzanian market, then please help us, because acidophilus is an extremely useful supplement for gut health. In fact, I will recommend to you a YouTube video that was made by Liz Gates, who is the Neolife product specialist here in Johannesburg. And she talks extensively about the role played by acidophilus in our gut health. So that one will be on the internet, so you can look for it if you want to hear more details about how our gut health is supported by acidophilus. So acidophilus, for those who can get it, is, for example, if you're in Southern Africa, it is available. It's a very important supplement for gut health, because it contains seeds of the friendly bacteria, which are then taken in your colon, and there they increase the numbers of the friendly bacteria for you, and thus help to protect your gut. Another supplement that is helpful for gut health is chelated zinc. This is also extremely helpful to heal any damage that may be in your gut lining, because we know that chelated zinc is very useful for the healing of internal wounds. And the last one is omega-3 salmon oil, which is also very useful in reducing inflammation in the gut. We have other products like Aloe Vera Plus, which acts as a tonic on the digestive system and helps us to relax and work against anything that might be stressing us. So I have a few minutes left, so I have been a bit delinquent in answering the questions I've been getting. So I selected a few questions that are related to today's topic. And the first one is someone wanted to know what we can do for constipation. And this also will include hemorrhoids. So the first product we recommend for hemorrhoids and constipation is stage 6, which is a herbal preparation that helps in the eliminating of stool. Then we have fiber tablets, which also help with softening the stool, and aloe vera plus, which acts as a tonic for our digestive system. Then some of the lifestyle things we can do for constipation is to eat healthy, minimally processed foods and to drink plenty of clean water, as well as to eliminate or reduce sugar from our diet, as well as junk and overprocessed food. Then the next question was about eczema, a skin condition which occurs when your gut is reacting to something. Some people may have it on their neck, some people may have it in different parts of the body. So it's dry, the skin becomes dry and scaly and itchy. And here we can recommend omega-3 salmon oil to reduce inflammation, acidophilus for those who have it, chelated zinc, as well as vitamin A plus D. And we also will recommend aloe vera gel to apply on the affected places. For the lifestyle options, we should also eliminate sugar and junk food, as well as replace unhealthy oil with natural oils like olive oil, coconut oil, or ghee for those who are not allergic to dairy products. Then the third one was a question about Crohn's disease. So Crohn's disease is a chronic inflammation of different parts of the gut. It can be the upper part of the gut, or like the small intestine, or it can be lower parts of the gut around the colon. So with the Crohn's disease, we recommend omega-3 salmon oil because it is Crohn's disease is inflammatory, and we know that omega-3 salmon oil always helps with reducing inflammation in the body. And then we also recommend multimineral alfalfa, vitamin B complex, and for those who have it, we also recommend acidophilus plus. And on the lifestyle side, we recommend you eat a low fiber diet because when one has Crohn's disease, the gut is already struggling. So to eat a very fibrous diet is going to worsen things. So to still make an effort to eat a healthy diet, but to choose softer foods, like for example, instead of eating hard fruits, you can choose something like bananas and so on. Then the next one was a question about ulcers. There have been different ulcers. For example, someone wanted to know about stomach ulcers, and another wanted to know about, I think it was ulcers in the intestines. And the first recommendation is that they should see a doctor because they may need to be prescribed antibiotics. Because the unfriendly bacteria in the gut take advantage of a damaged gut lining and cause an infection in the ulcer. So the first thing is for the doctor to deal with that. And then we from Neolife can help them by recommending they use chelated zinc, carotenoid complex, acidophilus, and aloe vera plus. Okay, then for lifestyle, they should avoid foods which trigger the ulcers to be painful. They should eat healthy food and also avoid eating large meals near bedtime. Because if we eat a large meal and then we go and lie down, it tends to slow down the digestive process, and the stomach acids, which are supposed to be helping the digestion in the stomach, flows back because we are lying down parallel to gravity. The acid flows back into our throat and causes a burning feeling, what we normally call heartburn. and it can lead to a progressive destruction of the lining of our gullet, the pipe, the upper part of the first part of the digestive tract. Then the last question, I think, because my time has run out, is type 1 diabetes. Someone wanted to, because I think 2 weeks ago we spoke about type 2 diabetes, and these are different illnesses. So remember I said when I was speaking about type 2 diabetes, that it's not the same as type 1 diabetes. So in type 1 diabetes, this is the kind of diabetes that often starts from childhood. It is an autoimmune disease in some cases. And so one of the important things to do is to see the doctor, because you may need a prescription for someone with type 1 diabetes. They may need additional insulin because their body is not, their pancreas is not producing insulin. So the first thing is to see a doctor for this. The second, in Neolife, we can recommend that they use omega-3 salmon oil, fiber tablets, and vitamin B complex. Then in terms of the lifestyle, they should eat a healthy diet, once again, with low amounts of excessively processed foods. Then a final question I had was someone who wanted to know what gel guard protection system is. This is shall I say, a manufacturing system in the Neolife acidophilus, where the caps and the capsule. So the capsule that are on our products is usually protected so that it only breaks down at the place where whatever is in the capsule should be released into the gut. So this is one of the winners about the way Neolife manufactures our supplements, because it makes sure that the supplement remains intact until it reaches where it can be absorbed. So I spoke about some of these last week, for example, about NutriShake and what is special about NutriShake compared to other protein powders. I think I also spoke about our garlic allium, why it is better than others. And today I'm speaking about Gel Guard enteric protection system, which is used in acidophilus, because remember the acidophilus is like seeds of the friendly bacteria. So the bacteria are actually dormant. But if they are released into the stomach, as I said, the stomach is very acid, the bacteria will be killed. So the way that the capsule of acidophilus is manufactured is using this gel guard, which protects it from the acid in the stomach, as well as the alkaline of the small intestine. And the contents of the acidophilus are only released once they reach the colon, which is where they are targeted. That is where they should arrive. If the capsule opens before that, then our system is going to kill the bacteria. So that is why sometimes you can say that I'm just going to buy the acidophilus that I saw in the supermarket or at the chemist, but it might not be able to provide you with the bags that you need. Another thing is, for example, the yogurt. Yogurt is supposed to be rich in this friendly bacteria, but unfortunately, most of the yogurt is highly sweetened, and these bacteria the good bacteria do not like sugar. So if you want to get the good bacteria from your yogurt, it should not be sweetened. Okay. So once again, I'm stealing Pascal's time, so I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you very much for your attention, and wish you all the best in the remaining days before we close the month. Put in your best efforts, and may your goals be reached in time. And I will see you again on Thursday next week. Thank you very much, and good night.
Good evening, everybody, wherever you are. I see Magdalene Boysen from Pretoria. How are you?